What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Skull Network. My name is Nick, and what an incredible edition of Border Battle we all just got to witness. And unsurprisingly, this was a back and forth game where the Vikings led at 13 at one point, and then the Packers had the lead late in the game because, my God, Mike Zimmer's defense, when it really counts, really just can't do much. But in the end, of course, the usual hero, the suspect of all things good in Minnesota, Greg Joseph, comes through once again, and my God, there is so much to talk about. I'm going to try and keep this short so you guys can all enjoy your day knowing that we have beat the Green Bay Packers. So let's just get right into this recap. Of course, the main talking point of today's game is Justin Jefferson, over 300 yards and I believe it's 2 or 3 touchdowns in the span of the last 2 games. Dude is on another level, and this is great to see because this means that, well, Mike Zimmer was telling the truth when he told the media, we're going to take more shots downfield and we're going to be throwing to Justin Jefferson more because we understand that that is where we succeed the most in this offense. And my God, was he right. Now, Dalvin Cook didn't have nearly as much success as he tends to against the Packers. He averaged a little less than 4 yards per run. He did have his touchdown on the goal line, but really he wasn't that big of a factor. He did have a couple nice runs that did keep some drives going, so you obviously have to thank him for that. But for the most part, this was really a game dominated in the air, and that is really saying something against the team with the third best defense overall in the league. I believe they were third in rushing and third in passing coming into this game. Really, the Vikings offense didn't really care most of the time. There was a lot of success in many facets of the game, and to be honest, Clint Kubiak called another great game for the most part. There were a lot less questionable calls. Yes, the toss outright to CJ Ham on 3rd and 1, maybe not the most practical thing. There was a couple screens and a couple runs at some points where you're like, again, why are we doing this? But other than that, this was another solid game called by Clint Kubiak. Now, if you look over at Coach Zimmer, it was all right from what I would personally say. Things were honestly going pretty well the majority of the first half, and then of course you get to the last 2 minutes of the first half, and of course Aaron Rodgers he always finds a way, and especially against us. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I keep saying this every week. I don't think there's any way to change that. I think we will go the rest of the season every week and give up at least some sort of score in the last 2 minutes of the first half. And even with some of the questionable things that Mike Zimmer does, one thing you have to acknowledge is that the run defense, for the most part, was very solid this game. The Vikings came in as the 28th ranked rushing defense in the entire league this season, and in the first half only gave up 34 yards. Now that is big. When you're forcing Aaron Rodgers to throw and turn that offense one-dimensional, even though obviously they're great in the pass, it really did help. What really didn't help, though, was Xavier Woods. Really a rough game, and just after he started really playing well, it makes you wonder if Cam Bynum is going to start seeing more play time. I think Zimmer's probably going to give Xavier Woods a little bit more time until he really takes him out and gives Cam Bynum that starting role. But honestly, it was really tough to watch Xavier Woods, especially on that 80-yard pass that the Packers used to tie up the game with 2 minutes left. That really caused me to have some anxiety. And I don't want to stay in the negatives, but we can't forget Green Bay tying the game up with a 90-plus yard touchdown drive really is not what we want from this team and this defense that is supposed to be, defensively focused considering who our head coach is. But, I mean, you have a 13-point lead in the third quarter, and gosh, you almost surrender it. I mean, man, it's so terrifying with this team nowadays. But honestly, this was an incredible game on both sides of the ball for the Vikings. Now, yes, Kirk Cousins definitely got bailed out a lot today, had about 3 interceptions that were dropped, but I mean, hey, if Green Bay's a better team, they need to execute those. 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, and easily the best passer rating of any quarterback that the Packers have played against over the last 4 weeks. Kirk has ice in his veins. The throw to Justin Jefferson with pressure in his face towards the goal line to give us the lead towards the end of the game, absolute just ice in Kirk Cousins' veins. And I really don't understand why people still say this man can't play well under pressure, and when it comes to the end of the game, he generally folds. Now, yes, he did almost throw an interception there, but again, if they were good enough, the Packers should have been able to close that game out, and they didn't. But yeah, this was huge. Giving Matt LaFleur just his second NFC North loss is really important. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I can see us winning the division, but this is huge for the wild card because this was a game where if we lost, there are a couple of teams that are about a game or so ahead of us that are probably winning this week and would have made it a lot harder to lock up that last wild card spot later in the season. But honestly, it's completely open at this point, and I see no reason that this team shouldn't be in the playoffs. If they can beat teams like Green Bay, compete with teams like Arizona with Kyler Murray in, I mean, come on. This team has something special. It's just a matter of week to week, what are we going to get from the coaches? But yeah, that's all I got to say. I mean, obviously, this was a great game. There's still those negatives that you're going to have with this team, but come on, guys. Just push it off to the side for 1 week and enjoy it because you just won the first part of Border Battle this season. Let's see if we can sweep them now. And that's going to wrap up this recap, everyone. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the button down below to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like as well. If you want to share this video with anyone, you can do that with anyone on any platform. And if it's a crack dealer on the corner, that's your guys' best option. You guys already know. My name's Nick, and I will see you guys all in Week 12 picks coming out on Wednesday. Adios.